The holidays are kicking my butt, but I'm here for you guys. So I was going to talk about rituals and habits since the first of the year's coming up and, new year, new me, goals, crap stuff. But we'll save that for next week or the week after one. We'll see. And I call them crap because you'll have to come back and see why. My goal is to completely reformulate how you look at goals so that maybe we can actually achieve some. But instead of getting to that today, I wanted to talk about seasonal depression and anxiety and holiday overwhelm, since that's what I'm dealing with. So for one, I think that whether or not you suffer from seasonal anxiety and depression and all of that, the holidays are just hard for a lot of us. And if they're not hard for you, then I need you to stick around to figure out how to help those in your life that are struggling, because most of us are struggling. Super glad that you're not. Congratulations. Don't take it for granted. Soak it all in. I don't want a lot for Christmas. I just want to feel at peace. Okay, getting serious now. Information. For one, I believe that seasonal depression this time of year, think about what our ancestors were doing this time of year, okay? We're moving into the winter months, and they just started, so we may be feeling this at different levels and degrees. But sit back and think for a second. What did our ancestors do moving into the winter months? Not really anything, right? There wasn't anything to do. You basically just hunkered down with your family and survived and tried to stay warm. There was no gardening to be had. Everything is dead. People who lived closely together were probably hanging out, but a lot of people didn't live very close to neighbors. So it's the hibernation season, which means if you find this time of year that you have very little energy and don't want to get out of bed, and the colder it is, the more you want to crawl into bed and just sleep and hibernate and rest, perhaps that's normal rather than something wrong with you. Because, our society really pathologizes everything these days. And we could possibly get into some conspiracy theories about how Big Pharma runs everything and what that may entail how we feel about things. But instead of fighting our energy levels and thinking that something might be wrong with us, instead of jumping to the conclusion of something is wrong with us, let's instead look at maybe this is normal. And I don't want that to be a discouraging thing. If we accept it as normal, then we can find solutions and coping mechanisms to help ourselves get through it that are also normal and productive and healthy and put us in a position to meet more goals and feel better just in general, rather than throwing a pill at it and trying to mask how we feel. And I am not at all anti-anxiety medicine. I'm not. I was on anxiety medicine for a while. I was on Prozac for 2 years because I needed it during that time to get through a very rough period of time. And that was after I threw everything in the kitchen sink naturally at trying to fix it myself. So sometimes you need a little bit of pharma help in between figuring everything else out, because life piles up on all of us. So above all else, remember that what works best for you is whatever works best for you. If you think you're strong enough to not need any kind of help like that, then more power to you. Let's start exploring things that we can do to make things better. If you think that you do need that help to bridge the gap until you can figure it out yourself, then whatever works for you is what is best. So again, coming back around to it might be natural to feel this way during this time of year, that understanding and acceptance can help us be more gentle with ourselves this time of year and start planning ahead before we get to this time of year, so that we can be ready with all of our coping mechanisms and be gentle with ourselves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that twice, but that's how important it is. Be gentle with yourself. Above all, do not beat yourself up for low energy levels and wanting to hibernate. Hyper awareness. Remember, everything always comes back to that. And if we are hyper aware of who we are and how we are, then we can understand the cycles that our body goes through, and we can know that this time of year is when we're not our most productive. And that's okay. We'll pick back up in the spring. We'll pick back up in the summer. We do good other times. It's fine. Nothing can help you more than a really good mindset shift. Struggling and fighting against your nature can cause way more harm than good. It just makes things worse. So now I'm depressed and anxious and overwhelmed and want to hibernate, and now I'm mad at myself about it. Well, that just adds more to it, doesn't it? It piles it on. That's not helpful. So what is helpful? Let's find some things that are helpful. Okay, so the easiest thing, first and foremost, is sunlight. There's less of it this time of year, and that really takes a toll on our mental health, whether you realize it or not. And they say unfiltered sunlight is where it's at, because even just sitting in a window, apparently, I'm no scientist, but apparently the window filters out some of the light particles that are physically needed. So we get the wave aspect, because remember, light is both a wave and a particle. Ponder that. And I guess we need the particle aspect, which can't get through the window the way the wave aspect can. The universe is so weird. So I know it's cold, but let's bundle up and see if we can do our best to get outside a little bit. And I've been reading a lot about the Wim Hof method and how cold exposure is crazy good for you, biologically, physically, especially your heart, but also in like lots of healing properties in that. So aside from getting outside a little bit here and there, and it doesn't have to be extreme, I'm not saying go spend an hour outside, even though the longer the better and all. If you 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time. The hardest part is starting. So the hardest part is taking that first step out. And then from there, you can kind of just practice your breathing, practice your meditation, see how things go, see how your mind copes with the cold, use it as an experiment for yourself. And not only is it going to boost your mental health and happiness, and you're going to feel a lot better, and you're going to feel a lot less stressed and less overwhelmed, less anxious, but it also may have some physical healing properties attached to it as well. The Wim Hof method really promotes cold showers and ice baths. Just going outside when it's cold is like a mild baby step towards that. That sounds way less torturous. And while we're here with this, breathing exercises. I am actually really new to the breathing exercises that I am reluctant to admit to you, because I've been a yoga teacher for like 10 years or something, but I was just never interested in the breathing exercises until now, and now I'm getting really interested in them, and apparently it is it has lots of benefits and things. It's crazy. It's a whole new world for me over here. So I am going to work on various breathwork, breathing exercises type content for you in the near future when I get more familiar with it. But for the time being, let's just not overthink it. And just as a general rule of thumb, breathe deep into the belly as often as you can. So we're utilizing the diaphragm, the deep set of like the inner part of the lungs rather than the shallow upper part of the lungs. We don't want the chest and the shoulders really to move at all. We want to utilize the diaphragm and breathe as deeply and as often as possible. Get that oxygen in there. And just practice that for now, okay? Remembering's the hardest part. So anytime you're feeling some kind of type of way that you don't like, check in with your breathing. Where's it at? Can we deepen it? Can we relax the face and shoulders? Deep belly breaths. Remarkable benefits for the overall health and well-being and mental health, mental and emotional. all the things. Okay, and these next couple of points I'm going to try to get through really quickly because you know them already and you're not going to be interested in them. You're going to roll your eyes and be like, ugh. So don't leave after I say diet and exercise. I get it. I'm also like, ugh. But remember, let's come back to our belief systems, okay? If we believe that that is not fun, then it's not going to be fun. If we believe that that's going to be hard, then it's going to be hard. Our belief systems affect our reality. And if we believe that we can find a way for diet and exercise, food and exercise, because I don't like the word diet, if we believe that we can find a way to make those easy and enjoyable, then that's exactly what we can do, okay? Just don't give up on it. Just look for it. Look for ways that it can be easy and enjoyable. I personally, obviously, really enjoy yoga. It's low-key. It works on your mental and physical health all in one. Gets you into a class with other people if you can. Like if you want to, doing it at home's fine, but people really need to be around other people. We're communal creatures, and taking a class with other people who are interested in similar things really does a lot for our mental health, whether we talk to them or not. Like, we don't even have to talk to them, okay? Just being in the same energy as those people helps our nervous systems, because again, we're communal creatures. We're not meant to be alone. We're not supposed to be alone for long periods of time, all the time, like we tend to be these days. So, and our nervous systems know that. Our body knows that. So our nervous systems tend to panic when we're alone a lot, because they know historically we evolved that it wasn't safe to be alone. You can't survive by yourself. So throwing that point in there with that, it's just really good to be around other people also. And if you can communicate and interact with these people, great. But you don't necessarily have to reap the benefits of being around them. I also really enjoy pickleball, and the pickleball community is usually very welcoming and very friendly. And usually cities have recreational centers that host pickleball, so you can go up there usually for free. My city does it for free. You just show, and they provide paddles and balls and everything. Literally all you have to do is show up and walk in the gym where they're playing pickleball and go, "Someone help, I am new here." And some little old person is going to take you and be like, "Oh honey, I love new people. Let me show you exactly how to play and introduce you to all the people." And then they will become your grandmother or your grandfather, and they will be happy to do so. And that is also going to up your mental health meters. Don't let people be scary, okay? That's a big problem with us in society, in our culture these days, is that everybody is terrified to talk to people. How unfortunate for a communal creature who's meant to live in villages to be terrified to talk to other people. That is contributing to your mental health for sure. Don't be afraid of these little grannies, okay? They're not scary. A couple of them are. A couple of them are definitely scary. But the sweet ones, the not scary ones, outweigh the scary ones 10 to 1, okay? 10 to 20. 20 to 1. It's way outnumbered, the good ones are to the bad ones. And remember, your vibration attracts what you're putting out. So if you go in there anxious and terrified and afraid to encounter a bully, you're most likely going to attract the bullies. But if you go in there with the mindset of, I bet there's nice people in here that I can meet, and it doesn't even have to be it can be non-committal. It doesn't have to be committal. You can walk in there and be like, with the mindset of, I'm going to try this out one time and see how it goes. And you just have to be brave enough to walk in there the one time. And yeah, I'm talking about pickleball, but I'm also talking about anything, okay? Look into your community and see if there's any clubs that you can join. See if there's any events that you can become a part of by however. Staying busy. Staying busy is super helpful. Not too busy. We need to make time for the hibernation as well, so that we're well rested and getting all of the healing properties and stuff in that sleep brings us. But staying busy really helps keep us in a good place, as long as it's not too busy and as long as we're holding our boundaries, which is the next thing. Oh, but real quick on diet. You are what you eat. in a nutshell. So if you're eating crap, you're going to feel like crap. Moving on. Do you want us to do more food episodes? We can do more food episodes. But anyway, boundaries. This time of year, Okay, sorry. I just realized what I said. No, I know how busy the holidays are, and I know you don't have time to pick up any new hobbies or group community projects or whatever, and you're already staying busy and you don't have time to change your habits and your routines. And so we're going to focus on boundaries. Maybe doing less is what you need. I don't know. I'm just here to help facilitate you and your relationship with you. And what works for me might not work for you. And what works for you might not work for me. I don't know. It's up to you to decide. All I can do is help you throw noodles at the wall and see if anything sticks out to you as something to try. Maybe you need to do less. Maybe you need to start telling people no. Maybe you need to start putting your own needs in front of others. Maybe you just need to buy everybody a gift card this year and call it a day. The same gift card. Don't even think too hard about it. Everybody gets a Walmart gift card. We all know you want to do more than that, maybe. Maybe you don't. But if you do, then maybe this year just isn't the year. Maybe next year it'll be better. That's us coming back around to that acceptance thing and self-awareness thing and gentleness with ourselves thing. Most of the time, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else is. We hold ourselves to our own expectations and crumble under the pressure of them and don't even realize that we're the ones setting these expectations, and all we have to do to be free of them is to let them go. Maybe you need to focus on some more self-care. Maybe you need to tell people no. Maybe you need to treat yourself to a massage or a pedicure or whatever. What makes you happy? Energy is the currency. Focus on the emotions and what gets you the emotions you want. How do you want to feel? Let's focus on that. And if other people don't like it, then that's their problem. They also need to focus on what makes them happy and at ease. And those who are happy and at peace don't care what other people are doing to become happy and at peace. And if you figure out how to make yourself happy and at ease, then that will influence others' energies and teach them how to do the same. And then ta-da, just like that, we're creating the new earth. That's what this podcast is about. That is my goal, to help me and my kids through helping you and yours become better and happier and more peaceful, so that then we can all go out and influence other people to be peaceful and happy. I keep coming back to gentleness and acceptance because, again, energy is the currency here. If you can figure out how to be gentle with yourself and accept the situation as it is right now, remembering and knowing that we're working towards a better situation, but things take longer than we think they should, then you become patient. And patience is key, because when you know that you're working towards a better outcome, and you have the ability to accept where you are right now in the process of that, because everything takes time to build. Nothing really matters anymore, like in the sense of life keeps getting thrown at you, because life continues to get thrown at all of us. But then we handle it with more grace and more delicacy and less emotional reaction. It becomes easier to notice the differentiate between the nonsense and the what really matters. And then it becomes easier to flow with the natural ups and downs, the waves. Because remember, a lot of our problems come from resistance of what is, expectations of what we feel like things should be, friction and judgment. And once we learn how to tap into the energies that we want and step into those realities and just become it, life around you doesn't necessarily change the way you think it should immediately. It will change exactly how you want it to, but not immediately, because you have gained the momentum of where you are over how long, how many years? That momentum is big, and it takes a minute to flip it over into the other direction to really see the manifestations of the clarity. I laugh at that word, actually. Clarity is not a real thing, but we'll talk about that another day. I'll make a note to talk about that another day. Maybe we'll do that one next week. I don't know yet. But the change is within you first. It has to be inside of you before it starts to show externally. You have to become the energy that you want. You have to become the peace and the happiness. And how can we just flip on the switch to happy when we're depressed? Yeah, I know, I get it, okay? Don't try to. Instead, focus on something a little bit easier to obtain, like contentment. We don't need to like where we're at right now. We just need to be okay with it. We have to hold on to the faith, the truth, the thought, the mindset, the belief system of things are what they are right now, because that's the momentum that has thrown us into here now. That wasn't our fault because we didn't know any better. But now we are actively working towards better. And I'm not a gambler, but I bet on me. I trust me to do the work to get me to where I want to be. Do you? Do you trust you? Because if you do, it's just a matter of finding the mindset of being okay where you are right now, because you know that things will improve. So slowly that you won't notice it at first, because that's how things accumulated to where they are now, right? You didn't notice when things were happening. You just look back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and how different things are now. Most of those changes didn't happen instantly with these grand, big changes. Like some did, but usually those are not changes we want. Most of it happens a little bit at a time, so slowly that you barely even notice, like a tree growing. You can't sit there through your window and watch the tree grow, okay? You can't see it move, but it does a little bit each day. And if you just take your attention off of it for a while and you come back, you're like, wow, you really hit a growth spurt. You grow in the same way. Things in your life change and manifest the same way. And our minds look for and focus on what we choose to and do focus on. So if you're always down and out and focusing on that, then you're going to attract just that. But if you find little bitty, itty bitty, teeny tiny ways here and there sprinkled throughout your day to remember to breathe, remember to relax your face and shoulders, remember to sit up tall, bring your shoulders back and down, open up that heart center, notice the moments of peace, and create a little space in between all of the things. And remember to be so thankful and grateful when you do find these little moments. They will grow. So all in all, you just have to be really adamant, really stubborn, constantly insisting that you find things to be happy about. And maybe that's something big like a massage or a new project or hanging out with a friend. But maybe, just maybe, actually, it is definitely the small, tiny, mundane things in life. When you can figure out how to be happy with the small and the mundane, the chopping wood and the carrying water, then you will figure out how to be happy everywhere else all the time. Not all the time. It's waves. It's up and down. You're not going to escape that. We are inevitably human, forever and always. Here we are. This is us. Raw and magnificent in all of the ways, good and bad. But I have tons of articles. I do an article about this every year. I do something about this every year because it bothers me every year. So I've talked about the mindset stuff and the internal stuff and how that is the most important stuff. But if you want some more ideas on things to do, like, lighting candles and incense and a diffuser and salt lamps or rituals or whatever magic you want to call it, I will drop those in the show notes below, and you let me know what you need from here, because I'm here for you. I am. I will always make time for you guys, but not at the expense of myself, which is exactly how you should be. It's the mindset you should adopt as well, because we can't show up for other people until we show up for ourselves, or else we're just making everything worse. But let me know what you think. I love you so much. Good luck with all of that. Until next week, namaste.